guys, my name is Josh Howard. I'm a bass player and producer here in Los Angeles, California. I wanted to make this video to talk to you guys about my new amp that I am super in love with. The company is called Formfactoraudio. I found them by accident, actually. I just went in a store and just to, browse, check out, whatever. Have been using a couple different amps for a long time. But honestly, my amp search has been pretty abysmal. I have tried just about every big company. I've tried companies that nobody's ever heard of. I've tried like preamp pedals and just using a Carvin power amp and stuff like that. And I haven't really found, it doesn't matter how complicated the rig is, I haven't really found anything that I've just been in love with. So anyway, I walk into this store one day here in North Hollywood and was talking to these people, and they were like, you got to try out these amps, like they're really great. And I said, yeah, sure. I'm kind of just here, but I'm always down for whatever. So I try the amps. I wasn't even using my bass. I just grabbed some random P bass that they had, and I played like 2 notes and was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I've been looking for. The company is called Formfactoraudio, and the amp that I use is the BI 1000, and then I use a 210 cab made by the same company. And it's incredible. It kind of shocked me when I first started using it, but I bought it the next day after I brought my bass back and played through it another 2 notes and loved it. And it's pretty amazing. It's literally what I use on every single gig now. The head is really nice. It's really simple. I'm not really like a knob turner. So, amps that have like a ton of EQ and stuff like that, like it's fine. And I'll try and search for my like sound that I like. But I don't like to turn around on stage a lot and twist a lot of knobs. Also, maybe it's just this weird OCD thing, but some amps that have like a ton of low end or the mids like really pop, I just don't like looking at my amp and having the bass knob all the way down just to make my bass sound like a normal instrument. I don't know why. I know that's dumb. It's just something I don't like. This amp is really great. The EQ is really simple. It's just got like bass, mids, and then like a mid selector switch, which a ton of amps have, and then treble, and then there's a limiter knob if that's what you're into. And it's just great. Or it's got these nice metal rings on them to carry around, which is great too. There's a newer version of this same amp that has like 2 balanced XLR outs on the back, one for pre-EQ and one for post-EQ, which is really nice because I know a lot of bass players who like the pre-EQ DI thing, which is really cool. It's a real 1,000 watts. And I swear to you it is. I know there's a lot of amps that try to talk about it like they have a lot under the hood, but this one actually does. I've tried to make it peak a lot and gone way out of my way. And then it got so loud that I was like, well, I'm just going to be fired from this point on. So there's no point. But yeah, it looks really nice. This is an honest review, and so I'm just going to say that literally the only thing that I don't like about the amp head is that it doesn't have a separate volume knob for like the DI out, which is like whatever, because you can just DI before the amp and it's no big deal. But who knows? Maybe after they see this video, they're just going to do that because the company is pretty amazing. The cab is really great too. It's super light. They have 2 versions. They have like a ceramic 210 and a Neo 210. The ceramic 210 is about 60 pounds, I think. The Neo 210 is like in the 30 to 40s. I would have to double check. But that's the one that I'm using, and it is awesome. Super lightweight. And just sounds incredible. One thing that's really cool about the cabs is that there's actually a separate attenuator knob on the side, which is really great because I'm not like a super technically minded person. I just know that if sometimes when I need more highs, but the amp does it just a little too much, I just turn the knob and boom, like there it is. So it's really great because I can find these kind of in between spaces. The amp is super clear, which is something that I had been looking for a really long time. It sounds like what my bass sounds like, which is amazing. And also with the true 1,000 watts, you can still kind of like push the gas to the floor, you know what I mean? Which is really cool. A lot of amps that I've tried that are really transparent, maybe the gain like doesn't like push my sound the way I want it to. Doesn't matter how much I turn it up. Or they just kind of lay flat even though they're transparent. So it's like you have to sacrifice kind of sound for tone, which is kind of weird. But these guys have figured it out, which I'm pretty amazed at. The other thing about the amp that I like but I could see somebody else having a hard time with is the amp doesn't like do much for you. Like it reflects what you're doing. You know what I mean? It feels like a studio monitor almost. So it doesn't, if your hands are real noisy and you're used to an amp that kind of curves that for you, this amp is not going to do that. It's a pretty honest amp, which I like, personally. I currently use this rig for literally every one of my gigs. Whether I'm playing to like 20 people or, if it's a small gig like that, or like a bigger gig, like an outdoor festival, or even like a quasi stadium kind of thing. I'm using the same rig for everything because eventually when the gig gets big enough, I'm just going into a system and then I use the cab as like my own monitor on stage. And that way I can use less bass in my ears and things like that, which is really nice. So yeah, and I've had the same experience everywhere. Anytime I sound check, 9 times out of 10, I'll play the first couple notes, and then the sound guy or another bass player in the room will go, "Oh my gosh, what is that amp?" And what is I've never heard of this company, tell me about it, whatever. And then I'll tell them as much as I know. And I tell the mom, like, please check them out. Like they're doing God's work. Okay. The other part about it that like makes it a super no-brainer for me to do business with them and to use their products is I'm not sponsored or anything like that. I'm not sponsored by this company. And I'm not sponsored by any amp company. And so because of that, in the past, using other brands, I've had a really hard time getting in touch with companies, getting them to communicate with me, whether it's like repair or I want to make another purchase. I just like to be in communication with the companies that I'm using, because like I said, I'm not like a super technically minded person. Research is only going to do so much for me online, especially when I'm buying new products. So I like to ask a lot of questions. And, it sucks being just like a super normie bass player and being constantly shafted by these companies that just don't care about who I am. So, but this company, Formfactor, has been really amazing. Even right after I bought the amps, I sent them a message, which is like, hey, just bought this rig, big fan, about to go out on the road with it for the first time, really excited about it, blah, blah, blah. Like nothing amazing. And they immediately got back to me and we're like, hey, great to meet you. We're so happy that you like it, everything. They've been super cool every step of the way and have just been so easy to communicate with. And the back and forth has been like real fast. So personally, that matters a lot to me. The relationship aspect of the company matters a lot to me. And so these guys have been amazing. Other thing is the amp comes with this neat little case. Everybody likes swag, right? So it comes with a nice hard shell case, easy to travel with. I've had nothing but a good time throwing it in the back of vans or, taking it on planes or wherever. And it's been really nice. So yeah, check out Formfactoraudio. Check out their website. They've got more videos up with more like demoing more of their products. Shoot them a message on Instagram. Tell them I sent you, and they'll be like, "Who's that?" Check them out everywhere and check out their products. Give them a chance. They're an amazing company and they're making amazing products. If you like what I've done with this video, like, comment, subscribe, all that nonsense. But also I'm going to be reviewing more products, reviewing basses, reviewing pedals, just stuff that I use. If you want me to review something else, leave it down in the comments, and I'll get to it like as soon as I can. Thank you guys for checking this out, and I'll see you around.